Hey, Amanda here. And I want to talk to you about the opportunity that you have in 2026 as an expert and a creator. So, I've been helping people build a business for a hot minute, and I wrote not too long ago this book about coaching leads made easy. And I was just going through it to see what was still true and what has changed because we've had so much change happening in the past couple of years. And I just felt inspired to hit record and talk to you about the environment that we find ourselves in now. If we haven't met before, I help coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs to love their business again. A lot of people have learned a lot of things over the last several years, and one of the things that comes up the most when I'm working more closely with someone is that they are afraid that there's not enough opportunity. You know, with AI being available, it is a reality that your clients are very likely using AI as a first line of defense. They're using it to confirm their understanding of things, to learn things faster, to speed up their own workflows as you. But we're all doing it, right? Like everybody's doing it. That's not necessarily a good reason to do something, but it is the reality that we find ourselves in. It does create this existential spin-off question though, which is like, what if I'm not needed? What if people don't need me anymore? And that's an understandable and reasonable question to be asking. In fact, I started my business back in 2017. I was there as like ClickFunnels started really taking off. I was able to take advantage of that season, you know, when it was very novel, very exciting, things were popping, things were moving. And then it just kind of like started to slow down. But oh, look, 2020 came around and all of a sudden everybody is at home. So there was this next big push that lifted my business, lifted everybody else's business in the online space like crazy. And then what happened? Well, all that cash that got injected into the economy, all the credit, all the chances people were taking because Carpe Diem with all of the uncertainty that was happening in the world at that time started to come due. And so as the debt started to come due, then people were kind of like slowing their roll and asking like, did that frenzy pay off? And for a lot of people, the answer was no. You know, it didn't really pay off. It didn't work out the way that I thought it was supposed to. And so here we are now, another big change, right? With AI and with the way the world is today, you know, well post 2020 and moving into this new age where we don't have to do what we used to do. You know, it's amazing to me. We'll have conversations with business owners who are looking to break through on sales and break through on the connection and start really getting some lead flow going in their business. And they'll show up to my consult calls with fully done, beautiful websites. And why? Well, because the tools are amazing. So they have this incredible aesthetic that they're able to produce just like that. And here's the opportunity, y'all. When everyone has access to the exact same tools and everyone is obsessed with using those tools, the opportunity is in a few things. Number one, community. Community is something that an AI, why? Like, why would they want to set up community? AI is about serving you and your needs at your convenience. And the thing is, as human beings, we crave connection. We want to be in connection with people that we relate to, that we enjoy, that we're inspired by. Like, we are social beings. And yes, it can feel pseudo-social, I suppose, to have a conversation with AI, but it's just not the same thing as a real person connecting with you and admiring the things that you do and commiserating with you when you are facing a challenge. And so community is a huge opportunity right now. And if you're an expert of any kind, whether you're a consultant, a coach, a lawyer, like an expert, an author, a speaker, however you identify, we're fast moving into this world where we're all creators. We all have the capacity now to create. The tools are there. The door has sprung open. And so then the question becomes, is your creation something that is going to land with impact? Is it going to be something that facilitates transformative change for others? And if the answer is like, no, maybe, I don't know, then congratulations, the cat videos are going to win, right? The cute little animated, they don't even need real cats anymore. Like, what? This is where we're at. So community is a really powerful thing. You know, whether you're hosting virtual events or in-person events, seeing the other human that you're connecting with is so important. It's always been important to an expert business, but it is only so much more important because of how fast we're moving otherwise. Okay, so community is the first thing. Second thing, big opportunity, huge, massive, big opportunity here is you can solve very specific problems for very specific people. Now, I realized this years ago, and holy cow, it completely changed my perspective on being successful building your own business and building your own brand online. And it's this: I don't need too many clients. You know, the truth is that, you know, I once had a Facebook group full of 47 members. I launched a challenge. Quite frankly, it was terrible and somewhat confusing, but somehow it was helpful to a few people. And those few people proceeded to go on to work with me in a more private premium capacity, which is, by the way, the next one. We'll come back to that. But I was able to generate 6 figures of business from a group of 47 people. 6 figures of business. Now, it also took me a year and a half to hit that 6 figures. But my grand point being, there's this myth, this belief that you've got to first build this huge audience, and then you've got to convert that massive audience into something viable. And what I realized then, and is still holding, holy cow, so true right now, is that if you very specifically address a challenge that a very specific sort of person is facing, there is a high likelihood, a very good chance, that there is nothing like that in the marketplace even now. Most business owners, they approach the market by hedging their bets. They want to have huge virality and big reach because they're hoping that, you know, basically by casting a wider net, they're going to catch more fish. And the real truth of it is that the better your bait is for your exact perfect specific person, it's going to be something that like most people would ignore. Like they wouldn't even look at it. So when you look at virality and being, you know, cast across the airwaves, it won't work, right? Because virality relies on the masses promoting and sharing and saving your content. But if it's very, very, very specific, it's going to be so incredibly valuable to that ideal person. So that's specificity is a huge opportunity that remains incredibly untapped. And if you realize that, like, if you're targeting a total addressable market of millions of people and you need like 10 at a time to have a business, like, stop, right? Stop. It's pretty cool. The third big opportunity is privacy. So a lot of us want to work things out in the company of someone we can trust. And the truth is that most people are showing up so fakety fake, or they're hiding behind their AI personas and perfectly curated and coiffed content that there's an unreliability attached to the perfection. So I'm like genuinely so excited about this because your ability to differentiate and show up as a different person, not an inauthentic person. Hear me loud, hear me clear. Showing up is exactly who you are. Showing up exactly who you are, how you are, as you come, is so stinking powerful right now because we're in a social climate where there's a lot of pressure to conform and to like declare sides and to, you know, present as a version of that's going to be aesthetic and appealing. And now we've got all these tools that can kind of smooth out the blotches. And I'm like, you are erasing your uniqueness. And so we can talk about that in the context of a personal growth, development, and alignment moment. And more interestingly to me, at least for the purposes of this video, is the role of uniqueness in relationship. You know, I think about my inner circle of friends, like the people that I'm the very most closest to and that are the very most closest to me. And when we talk about what we appreciate about each other, it's not the perfection of how we show up. It is the quirkiness. It's the oddities. It's those like deeper than average interests. It's the expression of the unique values or combination of those values all coming together to appreciate like you are my friend because you are different from the rest. And you know what's really wild to think about is how big the world is. Like, not to diminish the relationships with my friends, but I've probably romanticized, that came out wrong. I've probably overemphasized the uniqueness of the friend, but I think that is how we do it. You know, as humans, we have like this desire to connect with someone who is special. Like, that's the whole thing. So how are you going to be special if in a world of AI, you look like everybody else? You sound exactly like everybody else. You become indiscernible in a sea of, I love this term, AI slop. And you don't have to. And I think what's really incredible about this opportunity is that it requires no further real education. If anything, it requires this permission to chisel through all of the stuff that you've been projecting and putting out there and saying like, this is me, honestly, this is me. And saying, no, but like for real, what is important? What do I feel is less important? What is interesting? What is less interesting? What's funny? What's not funny? Like, all of those kinds of things, you have access to that right now. So it's not about like building up this new capability. If anything, it's like a stripping away, right? And pulling down to something that's a little more of the essence. And again, you'll feel amazing doing that, because when you can be fully and authentically expressed as who you are, like, it's a good feeling. But more so the quality of the relationships that you're going to have, because people are going to be like, oh, I like that about her. I like that about her. I like that about her, or him, however you identify. And here's the risky bit. And this is the reason why nobody does this, or not nobody, but it's hard to do. The average person does not do this, is there will be people who see the real you and they're going to go, they're going to have judgment. They're going to be like, that's not my flavor. I don't like that. I don't align to that. That's not how I look at things. And, you know, when I look at that, I'm like, well, what an opportunity. Again, it's such an opportunity, because if people are actively not choosing you, then you don't need to waste your energy, your time, your talent, your resources, and your emotions, and nay, your tears, winning over people who already have decided not to choose you. Like, in so many ways, it's really liberating for the both of you, for someone to not choose, to click away, to not watch, etc. Because neither of you have to worry about putting energy into that relationship anymore. And that's cool. It frees you to be able to pour the energy into, like I was saying, a perhaps smaller pool, but a mightier set of connections. So you've got a lot of opportunities out there. You know, I do want to encourage you, learn AI. And by learning AI, the best way to learn AI is to use AI. And I think one of the things I've realized from content creation is AI is such a good tool for getting me going, for revving my engine, for getting me started. It is still not great at replicating my voice, and it still tends to take my sharper opinions and dulls them. It tends to bring it closer to an average. And it makes sense, because if you think about how AI works, it's operating on probabilities and statistics. It's math. So it's doing the math and it's saying, okay, on average, this is going to be the best possibility. But the thing is, when it comes to marketing and impact, our first job is attention. And you're never going to get attention by staying average. You're going to get attention by being who you are and how you are, and exposing the oddities, because it's the oddities that catch the eye. It's the weirdnesses, the awkwardness, the mistakes, the quirks, the irritatingness, the scratchiness. And we're so afraid of people criticizing those so-called flaws, you know? And ironically, like those are the very things that are going to stop the scroll, are going to make people notice you, remember you, come back to you. And what's brilliant about it is you didn't have to even create it. You already created. You already exist. So that's good for you. And I think the other thing is that in terms of having impact on other people, last big opportunity that I'll share in this particular video is you have an opportunity to ask questions that the AI doesn't. And here's why. The AI is programmed to make us happy. It is an appeasement tool. It can actually be sycophantic in its replies. And I'm not saying that, you should or you shouldn't trust the output. All of the tools say the AI can make mistakes. Definitely grain of salt on some of the outputs, and you're going to find that the AI is going to fill in the blanks if it's missing something, because it doesn't want you to get mad that it missed something. So it'll just make stuff up sometimes, or it'll forget something and then it'll kind of gloss over stuff. So this is not so much a bug, but a real feature in AI. It is how it works. So your big opportunity is to cultivate a strong understanding of the transformation that you facilitate. I've been working with people on client acquisition and building a profitable, stable business for years. So I read the books, I follow the influencers in this space, I pay attention, I run experiments, I reflect, I journal, I document, I capture data. I do the same thing through my clients so that I can have as bulletproof as possible of an understanding of the transformation that I facilitate. And so, could I launch an e-commerce brand? Okay, the coach in me is well, I could, but I don't have the depth that I have invested in versus a service knowledge-based business. That I have incredible depth. And that's your opportunity. Really understand the causes and effects of your industry. What makes someone great at your space? What makes someone mid or average? What makes someone fail in the transformation that you support and facilitate? When you are a expert in that, not simply driven by opinion, but rather reinforced with education and contemplation and data and facts as much as possible, you will have so much value in the marketplace, even though people can still ask AI the questions. Why? Because AI is designed to appease you. And if you cultivate a very deep understanding, what it allows you to do is ask the deeper question. Ask the question that the user doesn't know to ask. And when you can do that, boy, your value goes up many times. So just really quickly on this idea of really mastering and owning the transformation that you facilitate, that means creating frameworks. That means documenting your perspective. That means recording content and being able to reflect back on it. You can use the transcripts from the content that you create to even build your own AI. So I think the moral of the story in this video is that you have so much immense opportunity. Oh my gosh, bonus one. There are so many people who are impacted by AI, whether they want to be or not. So I think a further opportunity, just bonus opportunity here, is really think what industries are going to be impacted, what jobs, what people, what changes, what transformations are taking place because of this disruption, this massive disruption, that you could position yourself as someone who can help re-baseline and get to a better place. I think about all the layoffs that are happening right now because of the efficiencies achieved with AI, thinking about the environmental impacts of AI, thinking about the social impacts of AI. There's just so much opportunity to make the world even better because of how you direct your energy and your creativity and your flow. So if you love this, let me know in the comments below. If there's a topic you want me to dive deeper on, make sure that you let me know that too. And don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can catch another video. And finally, if you're looking for coaching from someone like me, I am surprisingly accessible. So you can reach me at the Amanda Kaufman on Instagram. You can send me a DM with the word expert and I'll share with you the details about our program, the Experts Network. It is a community, it is a curriculum, it is coaching to help you to really unlock that next level of your business. We cover everything from AI to the offer to your marketing strategy to, yes, your time capacity so that you can spend time doing what matters. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you in another video that you can find around here. And don't forget to share this with someone if you found it really valuable. Okay, peace.